contracting community is looking at how to use artificial intelligence like pretty much every sector of the government. Many of the use cases people are exploring involve automation. Jessica Tillipman is Associate Dean for Government Procurement Law Studies at George Washington University Law School. I asked her how she sees AI impacting the procurement process.
It's actually a really interesting time. I know there's a lot of enthusiasm and people are very excited about it. The way that I've been focusing on the use of AI in procurement is particularly focused on its use to promote integrity and reduce risk. And there's a lot of promise, but I would say that I'm guardedly optimistic about that because I think that there's almost so much enthusiasm that people think that it's going to totally replace the humans in the equation. And I don't think we're there, nor should we be going there. So it's an interesting time, and I feel like we're really at a turning point as to which direction that we head in with this. But it's got its uses, and I'm excited, but again, guardedly so.
Okay, explain the guarded part first. About what are you guarded and for what reason?
So before I answer that question, I'll just say that when I first started researching the intersection of AI and government procurement, I was really focused on how can we use these tools to make anti-corruption initiatives, reducing risk, more efficient and effective. And I was very excited because in the United States and even globally, a lot of governments are experimenting with this and turning things that would have taken hours and hours or even days into something that can be done in minutes that really does help reduce risk and really does promote efficiency. So I've been excited about some of the promise. But in doing that research, I started to notice that there are some potential perils. So, for example, potential bias in some of the systems. You know, we talk a lot about conflicts of interest in government procurement and trying to guard against them. Well, where's the data coming from? The companies they're coming up with these data models, what data are they using? We know that it's kind of garbage in and garbage out. Could the data be good? Is it biased? Is it trustworthy? And so I'm worried is that agencies are experimenting with these things. Where are the guardrails, particularly as some agencies are using them with not as much training and with less understanding about how these tools actually work?
All right, and the optimism comes because of the potential to do things faster. What's driving that optimism?
Absolutely,
on your part?
And we have agencies already doing this, where they're using tools that, for example, can detect clauses that are incorrect or outdated in their contracts, that are doing things like basically making responsibility determinations in a matter of minutes, things that would have been done manually, helping to synthesize a lot of past performance evaluations, which again, would have been a manual task that would just be too much for one person to do. So I'm excited about the qualification type tools, tools that identify red flags and other types of risk, also very exciting. So it's been great to see governments experimenting in a way that helps them detect and prevent and even mitigate risk. But again, when you're doing something and you're using a tool that has a potential impact on humans in their lives, it's really important to make sure you understand what you're working with and that it's tested, it's ethical, trustworthy, all those kind of buzzwords you typically hear. So guarded, but again, optimistic.
What is your sense of some type of regime that would put the right guardrails around what the agencies would like to do, especially with AI in the way that you're describing?
So I think one of the challenges we have right now is there are a lot of people thinking about these questions, and the individuals thinking about the policies and the regulatory changes aren't quite at the pace of what's happening right now with AI. So it almost feels like it's dragging or lagging behind in AI development. So I think it's important that they're doing that, but it almost feels like all the tough questions that they're asking right now are probably going to be outdated by the time they come to an answer. So I think it's good that they're asking. I think it's good that the government's being thoughtful about this. I think there are model agencies out there that are really thinking through how to use these tools and how to train their employees about how to use these tools. So I think it's a matter of trying to find some sort of balance between kind of rushing into it because it seems like the shiny new toy, and also taking the time to really think about the implications of using some of these things. So guardrail-wise, as policies come out, you know, we've got to follow them. I think, but there's not a whole lot yet we're working with. We're really still waiting for the big stuff. I don't think there's a silver bullet, but training is at least a good first step, and agencies fully understanding their capabilities before basically deploying them.
Less than a minute left. Are there people who should be involved in these conversations that haven't been yet or haven't been to the degree that they should be involved, Jessica?
That's a great question. I think that it's important to obviously have the experts in this area, but having diverse opinions is really important too. I've had countless conversations with people that are AI experts, and then when I start to talk to them about some of the legal ramifications or implications, their heads spin around because they haven't thought through them. So I think putting people with diverse backgrounds in the same room so they can hammer out these issues is really important. Maybe people that are not traditionally associated with procurement should be in the room as well. And I don't know who all those people are, but I know there's a lot of voices talking about these issues right now. But as long as it's just not the same kind of siloed conversations that we sometimes see in the procurement space, I think we'd be in pretty good shape.
Jessica Tillipman of GW Law School.